Oh, how'd you know? It's almost like I drafted an all-blue team.
Oh, well,
Whoa.
that's something someone who was into like a bunch of drugs would do.
Yeah, well, that explains it. We'll get more into the team in the draft analysis video that'll come out whenever I'm done recording it.
So I hit
So
my
shut
mic.
up.
If you heard that, I'm sorry.
You know what?
Well, that was rude.
What if I liked it that you hit your mic? What if it turned me on?
Well, in that case, I'm leaving the script DM.
All right. Anyway, we have Mantine with the Rocky helmet. I'm running a physically defensive Mantine with Toxic, Roost, HP Fire, and Scald. I'm running physically defensive Mantine and specially defensive Tangros, which I'll get into in a second, because if we look at his team, his physical attackers like Scizor and Darmanitan and Conkeldurr all can deal with Tangros except for maybe the Conkeldurr, and his special attackers like Rotom Wash especially and Jolteon can really deal with Mantine, so I figure let's swap the roles as Tangrowth can deal with Rotom Wash, Jolteon very well, and Mantine with the other physical threats I've mentioned. Big problem is our Hydreigon with fire coverage, but we do have a counter for that in a second, as you'll see. But until then, we have Tangrowth with the Assault Vest because base 50 Spadef, as we see, is not going to cut it really. So Assault Vest boosted, max HP. This thing's bulky as hell. With Regenerator, keeps switching out, so we have longevity. With Mantine, I find that to be a very good core. Gran, any comments?
Oh, I'm just listening to Persona 5 music in the background. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, okay. And then lastly, we have the Pet Rock. We have literally just
Wait, well, hold up. Who's Pet Rock?
it's AZ's, but I'm gonna take it next week. So next week it's gonna be my Pet Rock because I
Does
like it.
that mean I get it week 3? Are we just going to exchange pets?
No, you get nothing.
I just failed throwing my pen across the room. How do you do that?
I don't know, but because of that, you're never gonna get the Pet Rock. You can get a. If I ever draft Geodude, you can have that as a pet. Okay.
Who was that fucking trash Pokemon?
A trash player would like
At
you.
least draft Aron.
Anyway, this Carbank Max Spadef dealt to design with that Hydreigon is really important. Deal with
What
special
if
defensive.
question? I have a question, Hyper.
Yes, Gran.
What if the Hydreigon ran Flash Cannon?
That's a good question. So I brought Power Gem, Magic Code Explosion, and Stealth Rock on this Carbank. But in all seriousness, if the Hydreigon bought Flash Cannon, that's obviously a problem, but Cragno can take it fairly well. I know Tangrowth can take any special hit. It can take at least two any special hits from the Hydreigon as well. So I feel pretty confident about my ability to take down the Hydreigon, which was a big threat while prepping. And
Luckily, people when they prep for Carbink, they don't really think Carbink gonna come, so they don't prep for it.
that is
If you
true.
want an advantage of Pokemon like that, that's why they put in work. It's because no one actually thinks they're gonna come.
That is
That's how
true.
you get 4 kills in some Inferno.
Yeah. So we see Explosion, Stealth Rock, Power Gem, all pretty standard. Want to get Stealth Rocks up, which is important for things like Sharpedo and Latios, to just be able to have no switch-ins. Magic Coat is there for that Rabombe lead. I want to lead this matchup with Carbink and Rabombe, so if he goes for webs, I bounce him right back. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's great for me. I like that. Get my rocks up as well. So it's a jolly good time in Philadelphia. Grant, any comments before we head into the battle?
Yeah, I do have one comment. Just give me a second to get my notes.
Why are you talking like that?
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say why didn't you draft Sandshrew, but I realized the shiny's not blue, it's green. I thought it was blue.
Could have
My
drafted
bad.
Alolan
Okay,
Sandshrew.
is that blue? Oh, you could have.
Yeah.
Drafted Alolan Sandshrew, dude.
Alright,
Pick it
on
up,
to the
please.
battle. So, yeah. So we're just gonna
It's not
play
even
this.
blue. It's like white
So
and
I lead my
yellow.
Carbink and he leads his Rabombe. I like
Oh,
this.
we're doing
I
the
click
battle.
magic.
I need to find a link to
Yeah.
this.
All right. You know what? We're very professional. Let's just thank
No,
you.
you keep going. I'll catch up.
All right. So I click magic coat on the Rotom, switch in, which was unfortunate. Wanted to get rocks, but he's gonna just go into Rotom. Click volt switch as I go into Tangrowth, just because it's a general wall for this, As he goes into Hydra again, I know I can take any hits from this Hydra again, so I knock off. Really was hoping to see a Scarf knocked off, because that would be really good, but he's Life Orb. So we take a lot of damage and we knock off, honestly, an item that I would have preferred it to have on. But now we're going to go into my Cryagonal, because it can take 2 flamethrowers because of my Spadef investments, and he's just going to go into Jolteon, which I feel very confident about. So he goes for Thunderbolt as I go for the Freeze Dry. He reveals another Life Orb user, which is little iffy. I feel, because I don't like.
I like Life Orb now. I used to not like it, but it's grown on me.
Yeah. All right. Can we tell AZ to shut up as well?
Yes, if you're watching this video and you're not AV, if you ever see AV, spam the shit out of him. He loves it.
All right. Just gonna message him saying to shut up. Anyway, my Cryo
Very
is toxic,
professional.
which isn't good. So
This is why you put yourself on red while you're
I
recording.
go into
so you don't
Tangrowth to
those
get some
messages.
recovery back, Gran, as he goes for Shadow Ball. I don't really see why he went for that. Maybe he was
I am
predicting
way too
Lottie,
far ahead, so I'm gonna have to
but
pause.
as he goes back into Hydra and I go back into Cryagonal. So I really like this, as Tangrowth has gotten most of its health back and it's Cryagonal against Hydreigon. So I go for the Freeze Dry, and looking at this damage, I should have known that this Conkeldurr was Assault Vest, but it didn't click during the battle. So I decided to go into Mantine. I know I could take any hit, and that Rocky Helmet is very crucial, because I need as much damage on that as possible. And now here, I figured he would go for Thunder Punch, but I didn't want to risk him going for a Drain Punch, predicting a switch. And I also really had no reliable switch, and so this is Tangrowth was more specially defensive and not physically defensive. So I really do feel like I under-prepped for this in this matchup, but I do know that I have some offensive pressure in Latios that can take it on. So I go into Latios, basically wanting to pick up a free kill. So I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor, as only thing that doesn't take it is a Rabombe. It does take it as a Rabombe. And we see this
And
Draco...
even then, Rabombe can't take it. It passes into the immunity because Rabombe is so frail.
Rabombe is just that trash. And you guys need to shut up in this chat.
It's not my fault you didn't put yourself on red.
You know what? I'm doing it. So we're going to go to red. We're going to be professional. And we see this Draco do 61 to 0.2. And my calc was saying it does like 70 to 80. So I figured he was invested. So I decided to go into my Tangrowth, predicting him not to go for any bug move, which is risky, but I figured he would go for a Roost or something, or maybe an SD at worst case scenario. But he does go for a Safeguard here, which
Safeguard, which
really
is interesting.
I really didn't understand this play. I mean, maybe he was expecting...
Did you have a Will-O-Wisp user in your team that he could have been scared of?
I do not believe so, and I didn't...
I don't get the Safeguard bring at all.
Definitely didn't bring it this week, as we can see. So, little iffy there, but I get for the HP Fire. Really weakness thing. I'm just going to go for it again, because I just want to just kill it if he stays in, and Hydreigon gets 7% big damage. So now I go into Carbink, predicting a Flamethrower, which he goes for, and that does 11%. And then I get leftovers back. And so I decided to get, this is a prime opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up. Earth Power does 43%. That seems like a lot, but this is a Carbink.
Carbink has base 150 defenses, so it actually doesn't do a lot.
But this is literally
defenses.
a rock. And that was a super effective move
It's
from
just a rock,
Hydreigon.
which is going to be shown later in this battle, that a rock can only do so much.
So now I decided to just stay in and go for a Power Gem, as I know I can take one more Earth Power. But he actually decides to go into his Rotom. Not too sure why. Maybe he just wanted to save the HP on Hydreigon, which makes sense. I get a little bit leftovers. I decided to go into Tangrowth, which I know can take any hit from this thing. Like, guaranteed. Just lives any hit. He goes for Dark Pulse. I was assuming he's predicting Latios there, as he seems to be scarfed because he goes for Dark Pulse again, and I go for Giga Drain and get all that HP back.
If he was a smart player, he would have gone for Trick if he was choice back.
It would seem
That
so.
was the play.
He goes
if he did
back into his Ghidorah.
I'm not calling the player bad, by the way.
Alright, well, Gran, he went back into Ghidorah, and I clicked Giga Drain on it to get some
if he had Trick and he was I think that was the play there.
Alright, well, it's dead now. So it's dead now, so...
The only bad player in this game is Hyper.
Alright, let me know if you guys like the dark or light scheme as well, because I'm fine with it, or and Gran's talking about a bunch of useless crap. For now, we're gonna rock out with the
Yeah,
light.
I know.
Anyway, I get a bit more chip on that Hydreigon, which is really good for me as I go back into my pet rock. It's my pet rock. It's not Easy's. Don't listen to that nickname. It's gonna be mine. So I decide, you know what? Let's just blow the fuck up. And so we do that. And that was
Blow the
actually
fuck up.
that was really crucial as that puts the Hydreigon into stealth rock range. I know it says 13%,
Yes.
but it's actually
But
gonna
it's actually
die
12.3.
in showdown rounds.
It actually is 12.3. I didn't even look at that shit.
I know,
I'm
in
off.
showdown rounds. So it's going to die next switch in. I'm feeling really good about that because now Latios can spam Psychic as much as it wants. Scissor's beyond weak.
Yeah.
It's at 28% and rocks are up. So here I decide to go into Cryogonal, just wanting to pick this thing off. He saves it for some unknown reason. And here I go for a freeze dry. Now I don't feel like letting this Scissor get up a Roost or SD for free, so I decide to HP Fire, predicting one of those two. But he actually goes for the Bullet Punch, which was pretty solid on his part. Just picking it off
But it's
my Cryogonal.
also really good for you, body now.
It really is, yeah. And now I decide to go to Sharpedo. I know he's at a Conkeldurr, so I cannot sweep him. But I decide that it's better than taking the Bullet Punch damage with my Latios and Tangrowth I don't really want in just yet because it needs to take on Rabombe, Jolteon, and potentially Hydreigon. So now he goes into his Ronnie Coleman. I'm scared. I don't know why it's named Ronnie Coleman. Why wouldn't you just name it John Cena? It's a Conkeldurr. So he goes for a Mach Punch, and here I had two plays. I could go to Tangrowth. I had three plays. To go to Tangrowth, go to Latios, stay in. And I decided to stay in and cook Psychic Fangs because I was predicting it was just a 50-50 that I lost in the end, as he does stay in a Mach Punch while I try to Psychic Fangs. But
I mean, it was your play.
It's not the end of the world, as I can now go into Lottie, click Psychic, and Hydreigon cannot come in because of Stealth Rock, so it'll just die. So as I click Psychic, he sends in the Hydreigon, and it does die to the Stealth Rocks. And now he sends in the Rabombe, and if this Rabombe was Specs or Life Orb, it could kill me or put me in a Mach Punch range, and I would lose the battle. So what do? I stay in and I Psychic as he Bug Buzz, but he is neither of those items, and I hang out with 34%, and I pick up the kill in Rabombe, which is huge. And now he goes into his Jolteon because it outspeeds me and has Shadow Ball. So I decided to go into Tangrowth as
Editing for you.
So then he goes into his Jolteon, and he goes for Shadow Ball.
You can just leave it live.
And okay.
I said
Shut up, Gran! And I'm able to pick up the kill on the Jolteon, and now he's gonna have no way to kill my Latios with his Conkeldurr, and that's going to be the game. So I hope you all enjoyed Week 1 against No Sadie with Gran as a cameo. Had a lot of fun doing this draft and drafting my Smurfs, as I'll come to call them. You'll figure that out in the draft analysis.
I want to say something before we end this.